All right, welcome, you guys. My name is Gediminas, and this webinar's topic is preparing for a great 2024. And some of you might have heard this saying that some people die at the age of 25 and wait another 50 years to be buried. Or some people live the same year 75 times and call it a life. Now, all of these little fancy sayings trying to point out a thing that most people don't learn from their mistakes. They just keep repeating the same things over and over again. And as Einstein, I believe, said, if you repeat the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's the first sign of insanity, right? So our mentor, Eric Worre, always has this little um, um, how to say, little system, if you like to call it, which is plan, do, review. And it sounds so simple, but they say, the most simple things in life are the most genius. So firstly, most people don't plan. I know it sounds crazy, but most people spend more time planning their food shopping in the supermarket than planning the rest of their lives. And I don't know about you guys, but I always use this example. How many of you had this experience where, you're leaving on holiday, like in 1 day or 2 days, and you grab a piece of paper and you write down the list of all the things you need to do before you go on holiday. Because if you don't do those things, then that's it. They're gonna be left undone for the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, how long you're gonna be away. So you make this list of things, of chores to do, etc., and then you just start knocking off those things. And guess what? In that a day or 2 days, you do more things, you get more things done than usually you do in a week or a month. Why? Because you made a plan, right? So step one is plan. Do you plan? Do you plan your day? Do you plan your week? Do you plan your month? And do you plan your year? We just got started with 2024. Have you got a plan for 2024? Have you mapped out the game plan for this year? What you want to achieve, etc.? Most people haven't. Most people at best make a New Year's resolution. Oh, I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to lose some weight, and that's for the first 2 weeks of January, right? And that's the end of it. Very few people sit down and actually map out the whole year. Right. What trips do I want to take? What goals I want to achieve? What strategies do I want to use, etc. So first section of that formula is plan. The second part is do. Now, again, there comes a challenge, right? There's one thing to say you want to do something. There's a completely other thing actually doing it. Do you keep your own promises? I believe Vince Lombardi has said, if you start something and you don't finish it, that's creating a habit of failure in your life. If you said you're going to do something and then you don't go do it, that is creating a habit of failure. And unfortunately, a lot of people have built a very strong habit of failure in their life. They start things, they don't finish. They plan something, they don't follow through. They don't keep their own promises, right? So plan, do. And then the last part is very rare, and that's a review. Most people who actually plan their day or plan their year make a plan, but very few look back and go, okay, what can I learn from past week, from the past month, from the past year, etc. But that's actually where you get better. Because if you plan, you do, then you review, okay, what went well? What didn't go so well? What did I do? What did I fail to do? Then you can, by learning those things, by reviewing it, you can plan better, then do again, then review again. Then take the learnings from reviewing, plan better, do again, review again. This is what Eric Worre calls a never-ending improvement cycle, where you are always improving, always improving. And this way, you're not living the same year for 75 times and calling it a life. You are improving every year. You're getting better every year. You're achieving more every year. You're earning more every year. You're accomplishing more every year, because each of those years is invested in the next year. I remember how Jim Rohn, rest in peace, said his father was about 90 years old. And he was speaking to his father and said, can you imagine how amazing your next year will be? Because you're going to be investing 90 years of experience into the next year. Can you imagine how huge that is? Are you guys investing your knowledge, your experience into the next year? Or are you just repeating the same day over and over again? So, how can we prepare for a great 2024? Well, number one, review your year. If you haven't done it already, ask yourself a question. What worked well? What gave result? First of all, for you, what worked for you in 2023? What worked well? What gave result? What actually was productive? What was efficient? What worked for the team? What did you notice other team members use? What worked for them? What results they got? And what worked for other teams or even other companies or even other industries? What can you learn from last year? What were the main learning things? What were the biggest breakthroughs? One of them was AI, a big thing in 2023. What else? What else worked for other people? What can you learn? Then was it random or systematic? Maybe something worked for your team member. Maybe something worked for a lady from another team. But was it just a one-off? Or was it systematic? Like every time that person used that thing, it gave them the result. Every time they used that, it actually worked. And then number 5, is it possible to systematize it? What does it mean to systematize it? Well, system is just a fancy word for recipe. Have you ever cooked a meal from a recipe? Most of you have, right? You get a recipe, it tells you the ingredients, it tells you what to do after what, right? Step by step. That's it. That's how you can pass along the recipe and everybody else can cook the same meal. Well, it's the same thing in business. Are you systematizing your business? What does that mean? Well, if you find something that works for you, are you putting it in a step-by-step manner so that your team members can duplicate it, they can copy it too, so that their team members can copy it too? Because if you're doing something but nobody else knows how to do it, if you haven't put it on a video or in a text format so they can copy that recipe, then it's not a system. So can you systematize it so that what worked for you, what worked for some of your team members, what worked for other teams and other companies can now work for the whole of your team, because everybody can follow that system. Everybody can follow that recipe. And can it be improved? Can it be improved? Can it be made even more efficient? Can it be made even easier, even simpler? Number 2, what did not work and why? Like, what have you tried and it didn't work? What strategies didn't give result? What did you do that was not effective? What will you do differently? What will you do differently in 2024 than you did in 2023? What will you do more of or less of? I'm looking back at my year and I'm looking, okay, this strategy was okay, but it didn't, perform as expected. But this strategy gave really good results. So I'm going to do more of that and less of that, because I want to learn from my mistakes and maybe mistakes of other people too. And then number 2, plan the coming year. Plan the 2024. Number 1, what are your goals? Have you actually sat down and wrote your goals for this year? Like, how much would you like to earn? What level would you like to reach? How many people would you like to recruit personally? How much would you like your team to grow? How many customers would you like to find? What turnover would you like to do? What countries would you like to visit? What would you like to learn? Where would you like to get stronger? Have you got the goals? Because I always say you can't hit the target you can't see. If you haven't even got a goal, then guess what? This year, I can predict it for you. It's going to be pretty much the same as the last year then, if you haven't got a goal. Number two, strategy, the game plan. Goals are great, right? What you want to achieve, how much you want to earn, what you want to buy, where you want to travel. Amazing. Now, how will you do that? That's strategy. That's game plan, right? What actions will you do? What steps will you take? What strategies you will use? A lot of you have been learning, 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 learning. You got a lot of ideas. You got a lot of strategies. Time to put them into practice. Time to actually map out, okay, what steps will I take? What daily actions will I do? That's the strategy. Number three, skills. Oh, Gediminas, you don't understand. I'm not so good at technology. Oh, you don't understand. I'm scared of speaking in front of a camera. Oh, those lives and those reels, they're not for me. That's just an excuse. If you don't know how to do it, learn it. Build the skill. A year is a long time. In 2024, you could literally knock out all of those obstacles, all of those excuses that you have right now. You could literally learn how to do lives. You could learn how to do public speaking. You could learn how to prospect people. You could learn how to message strangers. You could learn how to speak to strangers, on a bus, on a street, in a shop, etc. Whatever you don't know how to do is just a thing to learn. It's not an obstacle. It's not that you are, inadequate. It's not that, oh, that's it, then you can't do this business. No, you just need to learn it. Exactly the same way how you learn to cook, how you learn to use mobile phone, how you learn to drive a car. Exactly the same way you can learn all the skills. But do you have a plan? Have you got a list of skills you want to develop this year? What you want to get better at? Number four, events. We know that in network marketing, events make money, right? Meetings make money. And some of you, your biggest decisions in business were made at an event. When you were there, you saw these leaders, you saw other people achieving, and you went like, oh, I want to be on that stage. I want to get a car too. I want to get one of these incentive trips. I want to be one of those leaders, etc. Events are huge. And they even made the statistic in network marketing where they say one person who comes to a big event, huge event the company does, will be equal to about $1,000 of earning next year for you. So if you get 50 of your team members to attend an event, you can expect to earn 50 grand next year. You get 100 people to an event, you can expect to earn 100,000 next year. Now, granted, it's easier to come on your own to an event or not even come, right? Than to bring 100 people. But that's why the reward is so different. That's why the earnings are so different, right? So again, what's your plan for events this year? Pardon me. And we have a lot of virtual events, but live events, in-person events are the most effective. How are you going to use them? How many people are you going to bring? Are you really going to take advantage? Like our leader, Irina, always says, you first work for an event. You have to work hard to get a lot of people to attend that event, but then the event works for you because it inspires your people, it motivates your people, it makes your people to make decisions, it teaches your people, it gives skills to your people, and so on and so on and so on. So first you work hard to get people to the event, and then the event works hard for you because it does the job for you. You don't have to then motivate your people, you don't have to teach your people, the event does it for you, right? So what's your plan for events? What events are you going to organize this year? Oh, Gediminas, you can't expect me to organize events. Like I might invite somebody to a one event that somebody else is organizing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought you're a leader. I thought you want to take your business to the next level. I thought you're serious about this thing. What events are you gonna the ones the company will organize, that's gonna get organized anyway. You're just gonna have to invite people there. But what events you gonna organize yourself? What are you gonna do? And finally, support. What support you're gonna need this year? A lot of people mistake asking for help with weakness. They go, oh, if I ask for help, it just shows that, I'm incapable of doing this business. If I ask for help, it just shows that, I don't understand it. Nothing like it. The most successful people in this world are the people who get the most help. If you look and read and watch, people like Richard Branson and Bill Gates and so on, those guys, they don't know half the things that the companies do, but they find people who know those things. The most successful people have the most coaches. They have a voice coach, they have this coach and that coach, etc., because they know you can't know everything by yourself. So again, the question for you is, whose help you will need this year to make this the best year ever? Whose help you're going to need in order to reach a higher level? Whose help you're going to need, right? And ask for that help. No leader will ever turn away and say, no, I'm not going to help you, right? Nobody will do that ever. Because guess what? When your team member reaches out to you and says, hey, I want to build a business, I want to get big results, I want to reach the next level, would you help me? Of course. Well, it doesn't mean that they're going to do the business for you, right? I love this. I love this sentence. Let me see if I can actually do this with you guys. 1 second. Yep, let me share the screen again. This is really how to understand support uh, from your mentor, from your leader, etc. It goes something like this. Right? So how many of you would like to hear this from your mentor? I will help you build a business. How many of you would like that? Right? I'm sorry. There has to be a comma in that sentence. Do you know where the comma goes? I will help you build a business. Right? Most people want the mentor to build a business for them. Right? The mentor to do the work for them. Now, it doesn't work that way, right? The mentor helps you and you build the business, right? You push the accelerator, your sponsor will push the accelerator. No leader will ever turn away and not help you if you build a business, right? They can't do it for you. It's like the gym. When you go and get a personal trainer, they can't do the sit-ups for you. You have to do the sit-ups, right? But they can show you how to do it better. They can show you how to do it most effectively, right? But you need to do the work, right? So that's the training for today, guys. I hope you got value from this. Best thing to do after this is to grab a piece of paper and write those things out. Write the answers to those questions. If you think about those questions, that's already better than nothing. But if you write the answers to those questions and actually map out, what can you learn from 2023 and plan your 2024, then it's the biggest chance for you to get the greatest result.